I think going into this game, we were probably only too aware of the defensive concerns, Phil, having shifted out so many players. But you think, well, most of the attack is still going to be there and prominent and present, but actually there's a couple of injury concerns around some of their better players. Clive, who has a pretty good season, some inconsistency last year, but overall was quite a handful. Even Nielsen, I really like him as well. So Rob's talked about him loads and stuff on various gutter shows. I think you've just got to be careful not to go in thinking it could be too much of a walk in the park. They've got a really, really good manager, and as Neil said, there's almost this thing about Bournemouth where they'll just keep coming at you.
They absolutely will, and they probably need to, in fairness, when you actually look at the list of the players that there's either doubts over or who are out. Like, I think Cook and Christie was probably the first choice midfield last season. That's right, isn't it?
Yeah, Adams elbows his way in.
Of course he does, yeah. But ultimately, the two of them were a big part of everything they did, and at best you're getting one of them. So that's a weakness for them. The defences, you'd think it's going to take a while before it kicks in. Neil and James both talked about the inconsistency, well, not inconsistency, the sort of unknown at right back in terms of whether it'll be Araujo or whether it'll be Smith, and they probably just go with the experience of Smith. But then you look at the centre backs; it's neither centre back who was there last season. It's going to be probably Senesi, isn't it? Who was put way down the pecking order. I like what I saw of him a couple of years ago. He was a little bit. He's quite aggressive, but a bit rash at times. But at the same time, he's not at the level of Zabanyi or Huijsen. So it's going to take a lot of adjustment, I think. And then there's the goalkeeper who looks good, but again, it's going to take time for this to all come together. And
they've signed to Kate as well, Phil, which is an admission that he feels they need better.
Absolutely. And do you put him straight in? You'd think not. But at the same time, if they do, that's probably good for us. It really does feel like this is. And I don't want to go into the position where you talk about you're just going to think you're going to turn up and win 3 or 4-0, but it feels like this fixture could have come at a much worse time for us in terms of, come on, let's think about coming off the back of a Euro away and getting Bournemouth at 3 o'clock on a Saturday afternoon. You wouldn't be looking forward to that, would you? Whereas this, you get the 5-day break. They're a bit depleted. You're probably looking at it and you're going, okay, this is for us, but they will still have a go because ultimately they probably have to.
Both games we played against them last season would be characterised in old money simplistically as end-to-end contests, wouldn't they? So it's really how which side manages that. I think our manager will say, look, they are going to have periods where they come onto you, but if you get the ball off them, there was no accident that we scored our 3 first-half goals against them last season in transitions. No accident at all, and I feel that although
the first 2 were very, very close together as well. If I remember correctly, I think we basically scored 1 and then pretty much scored straight from kick-off. I think
if we get to break on them, I mean, look, I think the manager's general game plan will be to suffocate a team, pin them back, and dismantle them systematically, whoever the opposition is. That's the ideal. Yeah. But this is one where I think defend well and counter-attack well. And those are things we can do. Just, individually let the defenders win their battles, let the midfielders stay structurally in positions. And then when we get the opportunity to hit them in transition, that's when we'll find out about their newfound frailties or the fact that they haven't gelled yet in defence. I still think that will be our way home, despite the idea that we'd love to control, press, hem them in and pick them apart.
So who are those players, Rob? Who are you picking for that first game on Friday night? Talk me through it.
There's probably a couple of decisions. Am I thinking that's right? I think he's indicated that his back 5 obviously picks itself now. So, and he hasn't got Conor Bradley available. I don't think he's fully training yet. So it will be Frimpong. I wouldn't ever rule out the possibility that he goes, well, I know you've seen I've picked Kirk as the last 2 games as in the theoretical first team. But as you could see by Andy Robertson at left back when he came on, he is still my first choice left back. I don't think that's the case, but I don't think anyone's head should fall off if that does happen. But I'd bet on Kirkes. Up front, he actually doesn't have much choice really between going Gakpo, Ekitike and Salah. I mean, what other variation is there really on that at the moment? I don't really see one. Midfield, well, he could bring Wirtz into the front 3, but I don't think so. I think Wirtz will play behind that 3.
That might be one for Newcastle. That wouldn't shock me if he did that.
Yeah, I agree. So then does he go? A lot of people think he'll just drop McAllister straight back in, and I think ordinarily he would, but McAllister hasn't had enough football, looked rusty-ish, the few minutes we've seen of him. I see him, it has to be Szoboszlai and Jones. We know in terms of what I want, in terms of what I think the manager will do. And it's a nice luxury to have that you can bring McAllister on for the last 35 if things haven't been ideal up to that point. And regardless, he will get minutes. But that's the key decision really, Jones or McAllister. I said two decisions, I think it's actually one, Jones or McAllister.
I hope you're enjoying this free show at the moment. Loads of excellent, exciting stuff on the Anfield app. If you want to be part of the whole thing, you can download the Anfield app and go from there. Or you can subscribe via the YouTube membership as well for video-only content and other bits and pieces. We love doing these shows. We love that you watch them. So come, be part of the journey with us.